Welcome back students to Smashub Web Development course. In this tutorial, we will learn about the CSS attribute selectors. The CSS attribute selector is used to select an element with some specific attribute or attribute value. It is an excellent way to style the HTML elements by grouping them based on some specific attributes, and the attribute selector will select those elements with similar attributes. First type of CSS attribute selector is attribute selector. The attribute selector is used to select elements with a specified attributes. Like for example, in this, all the elements of anchor tag are selected that are having target attribute. Now when we run this code, we see that the styling is only implemented on the content which had target attribute. Next is the attribute is equal to value selector. The attribute is equal to value selector is used to select elements with a specified attribute and value. Like in this example, all the elements of anchor tag are selected which are having the value as blank. Now, when we run this code, we see that the link with target is equal to blank gets a pink background. Next is the attribute tilde is equal to value selector. The attribute tilde is equal to value selector is used to select elements with an attribute value containing a specified word. Like in this example, the elements containing the word tree in their title will contain the styling. Now, when I run this code, we see that all the images with the title attribute containing the word tree get some magenta border. Next is the CSS attribute vertical bar is equal to value selector. The attribute vertical bar is equal to value selector is used to select elements with the specified attribute starting with the specified value. For example, in this code, all elements having class attribute value that begins with top are selected. Also, the point to be noted here is that the value has to be a whole word, either alone like class is equal to top, or be followed by a hyphen and then the text. Now, when we run this code, we see that the styling has been implemented. Those were having class attribute beginning with top. Next is the CSS attribute caret is equal to value selector. The attribute caret is equal to value selector is used to select elements whose attribute value begins with a specified value. For example, in this code, unlike the previous selector, all elements having class attribute value that begins with top are selected. The value does not have to be a whole word. Now let us run the output. We see that the styling is implemented in all the sections. Then comes the CSS attribute $= is equal to value selector. The attribute $= is equal to value selector is used to select elements whose attribute value ends with a specified value. For example, in this, All elements having class attribute ending with para are selected for styling. Also, in this it is not necessary that the value has to be a whole word. Now when we run this code, we notice that the second line has not been styled as it didn't had its class value as para at the end. Last is the CSS attribute star is equal to value selector. The attribute star is equal to value selector is used to select elements whose attribute value contains a specified value. For example, in this code, all the elements having the class attribute value containing PA will be styled. Now, when I run this code, we see that the second line is not styled as it didn't had PA in its class attribute value. Thank you.